Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here in the new locomotive that we just picked up, which is the 1024.5 Baldwin, the Tweetsy. This is our new locomotive. Going to be much stronger, much faster. This thing 25 miles an hour or faster. Somewhere really closer to, I don't know, in between 25 and 30, wherever you can get it to. So, and depending on what you're hauling. So we are going out to the gold mine today, going to try to get that thing up and running. We have already done one of our stops, which was the coal. So we got that up and loaded, and then we have worked our way out the map towards the sawmill here. So we will be loading up lumber. We have to go get rails. We need tools. So we have quite a few stops in today's plan. If we can get that all in. Alright, let's see. We need a few of these. These will load nice and fast. Not a lot of water. This is the first run of this Loco. Still have not filled it up, so just running on what we have. Alright, let's get this thing moving. Actually, it should have been moving faster than this, probably. Whoops. This Loco definitely has good brakes. A lot of power. Great locomotive. Can't complain. Went with the classic green on this one. One of the best Locos in the game, honestly, especially depending on, you know, how crazy you're running stuff. For this, where we have the 4%-ish plus incline on the way up to the mine, figured it made sense to actually step up the Loco a little bit. 2, 4, 6, 8. That should be enough, because we need to save some room for rails. Honestly, didn't really figure out how much of what we'd be pulling. We just know we need stuff, so there you go. We'll take that to go along with the coal. That should be enough of that. Oh, we're going to have to get in here and check some switches. Should be good there. Probably have to go that way. Yep. Good to go, good to go, good. Alright, that should light us up. Alright, so here then we will choke down for a little bit of speed. Great whistle on this locomotive. I always had just a great look on this Loco. At one time was the strongest thing in the game. Obviously not anymore, but still hauls plenty. It's probably all the Loco you really need for a lot of things anyway, till you really get into, you know, some of the steep, crazy grades, stuff like that. Hauling huge trains. But again, on flat ground, this thing's going to do pretty much anything you could want it to do, and then some. So, yeah, not even exactly sure. What do we got? 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, something like that in the stack today. Plus the Loco, so I guess 22 rolling all together on this one. Decent sized train. Moving along the freight, should turn around and get the whole mine up and running is the idea. Probably you can get a little bit more out of this. We'll just have to see if it actually gains us any speed or not. Not really. Fine line between pulling power and how much speed you can get out of it too, you know. As the trains get bigger, heavier, it gets harder to pull, so you have to put a little more power into it. you trade off a little bit of speed. That's for sure. Yeah, definitely not running any faster, so let's up that back to in the 40s. There, we're going to get back about as much speed out of it as we're going to get on this one. We'll try for a little more power and see if that gets us going a little faster. You just have to play with the regulator, obviously, depending on your route, your load, everything else. The situation may call for different settings. RO doing its thing. Catching the switch. That should send us off to the smelter. This all going to come down in one nice big run here. Not too bad. Should get our gold mine up and running, and once we get to the gold mine, then money is, you know, sky's the limit. Really, there. We can start upgrading everything and doing whatever we'd like. At that point, we get a fleet of Tweetsies and probably start getting rid of some of the other locomotives. Oh, there we got something in the track. That must be one of the do-not movable little aloes there in the rail bed. Alright, let's bring that up. Bring this back. We will be stopping. Rolling it a little fast, actually, on this one. A lot of backloads. Had to run a lot of cordwood just to get things out of here, to be real. That cordwood is a never-ending deal there. Takes a lot to move a lot. Alright, and this we will be rolling down the train somewhere in here. Nice and neat that we have the 12 stack of 2 cars. Allows us to turn around and do a lot with different industries. Having 12, 14 of those in a stack makes sense, so that you can throw on whatever on the fronts and the backs. Just kind of keeps things moving along. This rail actually tends to work out pretty well. Most things you can run in like a, you know, a mixed load actually is, you know, I guess I look at like how many links in the chain are of what, but sit. Alright, we are really far off on that one, so it makes it weird, but there we go. We'll get these loaded and moving. Always nice to get the product on board. Even nicer to get it off. That's when you actually get paid, right? Have to say the increase in loading speed for these is awesome. I mean, 3 at a time. When these were 1, boy, loading rails was like a very time-consuming process, almost as bad as tools at one point. Mass improvement there. The lag between, and it's not like lag, but it's just the actual, you know, for the time from the Loco picking up to the time of actual, like, your cars moving or the rest of it. Once you get into the longer trains like this is awesome. One more load up to go here. Decent sized train. I would expect that this load is going to pay decent, even though, you know, a huge section in the middle there is not very high paying, but the coal on the front should pay decent. The rails should actually pay decent. The tools should pay decent. So I would assume by the time this one all comes in, said and done, going to be a decent paying train. Going to move the XP along. Probably run one or two of these to totally get the mine up and going, but this should actually get it producing. You know, not going to be totally full, I would think, but definitely going to be enough to get it up and running. Alright, heading on out. We do have the tools to go after yet. One more stop on the rail. Good news is this heads right to it. So not too far to go, and we can grab some of the, wait, that's, tools are going to be way down there, actually. No, I was thinking right around the corner. That's the mine right around the corner. So actually, this is going to be a bit of a journey. Yeah, this is going to be the long haul. We'll have to flip that. Once we get down here, it's actually once we get down here, we don't have too far to go, so yeah, and then this will be that way, and this will be that way for the first time. And we'll just have to see how everything goes. But yeah, I guess with that, we will buckle this down for a little bit of speed, and then probably catch up as we get down to the tools. All right. Alright, and there we are, about to roll in through the depot and the yard. Several locomotives over here now at this point. We do still have the number 1 out on the rails. What else do we have? Ruby Basins in there. 062 is in the sand. Oh, the Porter Type 2 is around somewhere. Not totally sure where that one is right this minute. Probably out there in the oil stuff. Alright, here we go. Whipping through yard services. I think we're going to put an addition onto this side of the loop so that we can split this and bring it back that way, just for turning around locos and whatnot. Make life a little bit easier, probably. So that's an addition. A lot of additions, add-ons, quick routes, things like that can be done with this rail yet, but for the most part, just about getting everything connected. A couple more stops to go, and this one is filled in, or at least all hooked up. Nice, we get the clip underneath there. We're just gonna have to see how everything goes on this deal. first time down the run after we pick up the tools, so it should be, oh snap. We actually have to pick up the tools though, so that's the thing. Let's see how far we overran. Oh, you know what? You can go up to the logo. Oh, not actually that bad. For totally space it off. I was thinking about the gold. Thinking about the gold already and the new part of the line. And gee, I hope this works, that I totally forgot about the tools, and if I wouldn't have just been about to say, hey, tools. Speaking of which, the pipe stack there is looking a little low. We got one pipe half buried in the dirt. That's all we have. This one, industry, I have to say, does kind of come out weird, because you end up with the pipes are half in the sand and the boxes are basically floating on top of the ground. So that's one of those, like, not sure what that was about or how that happened, but yeah, just a reel of what it is. Yeah, you can see, like, this box clearly is floating. Of course, that's the one that moved. But these three boxes over here, kind of up in the air, you know, a little bit going on there. And, like, this pipe, yeah, pretty much buried in the sand there. So, a little bit of elevation shifting in here would have probably come out decent. Let's see if we can get these going. I wonder if we can speed the process a little bit here. Swing the crane, at least cut down 50% of our swing time. Probably. Oh, let's get her going. Little tricks along the way I guess you can do to help speed things up when you want to. Not that these boxcars, you know, tools in particular, used to probably be the most painful loading process in the game. One at a time for 32 in a car, it was horrendous. So no matter what you do, this seems like, you know, space age loading technology compared to what we started with. That's for sure. Whatever, we'll go ahead and fill it up. It's only 2, but we'll fill it. Good thing nothing derailed in the process of slamming on the brakes like an insano. We went full Polar Express emergency stop on that one. Alright, here we go. Let's get it. This locomotive, nice with the generator, so that'll make going through the tunnels cool. We'll be able to just slap that on. Nice tunnel runner. Having the electric light. Who knew one day that was going to actually pay off? The wear on the roof there is nice. More caboose color options would be cool, I have to say. We don't have a lot of crazy caboose colors. It's a little bit of a disappointment on some of them. That's one place where you'd like to see them just put like a color palette that we'd be able to choose and have a lot of different colors for everything, but whoa, as soon as we let that go, the whole train started backing up. It's definitely sitting on a brake, that's for sure. Wow. Okay. And we'll get the last 2 in here. We'll go ahead and start putting a little bit of pressure on the Loco. And then we will get out of here. Chuffing to life. Definitely one of my favorite Locos in the game, no doubt about it. Always has been since this one came out. This has just always been a solid performing locomotive too. That's the other thing. Solid model, not had a lot of problems along the way. Always been good looking. It's never really gotten any like kind of add-ons or anything new put to it. Just kind of the way that it's always been. This one should earn a spot on just about every railroad out there, if you ask me. If you just want a reliable, do-it-all kind of locomotive, this is a great alternative. Until you get up into the big beastly things. Everything over this gets kind of beastly. Well, I guess you have the Mastodon above this. That's not too crazy, but then pretty high up in level, so, you know, this one, not horrible. This is where that little humpback is in the rail, so it's going to be interesting to see how this affects things. Yeah, and for the Tweetsy, it doesn't even matter. Right. But that is going to look cool. Yeah, totally happy that we have that in there. Just looks cool. Little something other than just a regular flat rail. Pretty happy with that. We're good on the switch. Probably should have checked the deadhead switches a little more than we did, but that's okay. That's going to be the only one we run over today. That's obviously going to be for heading off in that direction one of these days. Although one of these days soon, because this should get our gold mine up and running, which will then get us moving along the chain. Just like this Loco. Good looking, proper little locomotive. Although not that little, so there you go. Decent enough. Everything working along here just nice and well. That we will be picking up and going through on our build. Yeah, it looks pretty lined up for that. Nice. Meaningless pivots through some of the just stone environment just for fun. Yeah, always an element in there. And it'll be interesting to see how we hit the climb. This all should actually be running a little faster. I would think that we are, although this, now I would think this train is actually, you know, fairly heavy, so could be interesting to see if this actually goes up to 4%. Hopefully we don't run into a problem and we actually climb the hill just fine. So let's make sure we have coal, we got water, sand, not gonna need it. We're running at speed. Yeah, we're definitely running at speed, so everything going well as we approach the climb. And then we're just going to have to hope that we have enough oomph actually to pull this full-size train up the hill, or if we have to go get backup, which we would prefer not to have to do. So it's going to be interesting to see. There is the climb ahead of us. We get to about the steepest climb we're going to encounter on this map anyway, with the stock layouts. We'll start kicking this up. We don't want to lose momentum here on the turn. Going for the hill. Oh, that picked us up a lot of speed, actually. We should be running with a lot more reversal than this Loco. Alright, and now we hit the climb. We will just drag it into full reverser. And now we'll just have to hope that we make it up the hill. Probably didn't need it up the reverser that soon. We could have carried some more speed. We might not have enough Loco to actually get this up the hill. Which, if that's the case, I do not think we're going to actually be able to get this up the hill. So the only way we're going to be able to get this up the hill is if we bring in a helper. Or cut the train. Close. No cigar. Okay. So, with that, we will turn around and be right back. Alright, and so with that, what we have turned around and done is thrown the 062 on the back here, and now we will hopefully have enough power to get up the hill. Is going to be the idea here. We are waiting on a little bit of heat, steam, pressure to actually get this thing up the hill. So hopefully once we get that going on, now with the multi-unit deal, we'll be able to jump in the well, we probably get it out of here, but this thing is loud and obnoxious. So we probably will be headed up front to actually run this out of here, or run it out of the Tweetsy, I guess. But once we actually get steam going on in this thing, did just turn around and fly over, pick it up, and throw it here on the end. If this thing is on the end of the Loco, that's not going to be so bad. Actually give it some sort of use. So hopefully that does it. Looks like we're good to go now. Boiler pressure is coming up. It's coming up slow, but it's coming up. So that should give us a little bit of power now back there. I have to say, kind of surprised that Tweetsy wasn't able to take this up 4%, although, quite a sizable train, actually. Guess I can't say I'm too shocked. Definitely not under 3% on the rail here, so let's see if this is actually going to get us. Is that Loco back there pushing too? Well, this says it's pushing. Pushing backwards. Alright, let's see if between the two of them, if we back this thing up and run it at the hill, maybe we just can't get it going on the hill. If it's more than that, we have to actually bring in some other locomotive, then we'll just have to break the train. Trying to do too much with too little. That is a thing sometimes, like it or not. Although these two Locos together, you would think, shouldn't have a hard time pushing this much freight. It's not that much. But with it all stopped on the hill, maybe that's just more than it's going to want to get moving at one time. Not sure what that was. Alright. Not a heck of a lot of run up, but let's see if that gets it done. Alright. Where's your brake? if it goes up the hill, it's going to go up the hill with power, not speed. So it isn't going to be about having the speed. It's just going to be about it moving. Either we have enough power now to move it up the hill or we don't. But you would think between this and the unit. Alright, that thing is really loud. I apologize. As we flip back to check on that. Yeah, we'll take a look again. It's going to be really loud though. Yeah, okay. That Loco is definitely doing everything it can do. This Loco is definitely doing everything it can do. And we are barely moving on the hill. I think we're still actually slowing down, and I don't know that we're going to actually make it up the hill, even with the two locomotives. Ain't that something? It is barely lugging up the hill. Well, there you go. I guess proving the fact that even on Mesa Plains, you can use the, you can definitely find a use for the larger locomotives. Because you would think this isn't really that big of a train. Oh, you better finish pushing it up the hill at this point. Although, I don't know if it's going to, because it's actually going to get harder on the turn. But then it's starting to flatten out, so you would think. I mean, now this Tweetsie is pretty much on flat ground, so you would think she's going to start pulling the rest of the train up the hill. At this point, whether it likes it or not. I can't believe taking every bit of both of those locomotives to get this load up that hill. There we go. We are finally starting to pick up a bit. So I think if we hit it at totally full speed, like we can get a little bit more going on there, but not a lot. Working two locomotives. Now we definitely do need a bigger, at least the class 125. I mean, these two put together, you're pretty much in that horsepower. You are in that tractive effort range between these two. So, class 125 probably is just enough to get this up with one loco. 2662 would be nice if you're going to add anything to it. Probably get that caboose out of there, save a little bit of weight. Not really all that useful if you have to have another loco on the back. You know where it is based on the smokestack. It's a crew comfort thing, I know. Alright, let's see if we can get these all to unload decent. And hopefully we can get something going out of the gold mine there, so we can actually afford one of those bigger locomotives. Alright. Coal working decent. I think we actually even have this stuff on there in the right order for dropping it off. This might all actually work out decent, like surprising. And then I suppose the hill is going to start taking us down at some point. This may work out for one of the better drop-offs. Alright, so that's half of the coal. We're going to get most of the beams. None of those actually made it in because we were overlapping the coal. That's right. This is the pain in the neck drop. Totally forgot about that until right there. Let that be a lesson to you. Do not drop your beams in the coal because it won't let you keep them if you do. That's right. This is the one with the pain drop off. Because this coal thing is higher than the dock, so it as far as it's concerned, you're putting them in the coal and it's just going to throw them away. You probably have more room out here, whoops, than you do the other direction. Yeah, so safe to drop them off a little deeper or a little further down the dock. Just do not drop them off early, alright? Unless you want to be wasting your stuff. For science. Alright, hit that. I think we're okay with a little bit higher speed there. Whoa. Oh, now we'll see how deep in the box you can drop them. Yeah, fairly deep. So just again, just don't drop them short. You're fine. On the gold mine, spent more time dropping at the dredge than I did the gold mine. So now where exactly this one picks up, and these probably are going to offload a little slower. There we go. Keep them on that dock. Nope. As long as they're on that dock, we're probably good to go. You get them any further over there? I don't know. Alright. We might have lost one of those. We probably lost one of those somewhere. And then these will definitely slow down for. Tools cost way too much. Or are worth way too much. In fact, we'll take a look. I don't even know. Well, no. We aren't going to mess around too much. Let's just drop that. We're doing alright on the money. We weren't very broke when we bought this Loco. We had like 17,000 in that neighborhood, then turned around and picked up this locomotive. So we should still have, a decent amount of money, or have had. And this, I would assume this train paid off pretty good. I'm gonna think we were right around 10,000. So wherever that puts us. From there, I suppose now it's going to actually start using up the product, because this is the last thing to come in anyway. Okay, so let's hit that there. That'll let us get out of there. Yeah, so this train probably made us, at least $5,000. I feel comfortable saying this is like a $5,000 train. Dude, I like some of these big cacti that are in the game. Super cool. Just a nice, cool look for the game. Still dropping tools. So we got plenty of tools along the way. All we needed there. We got rails. Good to go there. Looks like beams are going to be the first one that we eat out of all of them. But that's going to give us gold ore, which that's the important part. Beams are definitely what we're going to run out of. We had, 8 cars times 3, but we got rid of some, so we had 7 cars, 21 beams in here, and we're going to eat those up pretty quick so we can definitely get another load. I think we can probably run a whole nother one of these trains with the exception, no, not even with the exception of tools. Now that it's eaten some up, it'll eat just enough up that we'll be able to run that train twice, probably make $10,000 off it, and have, you know, at least a car. Yeah, it looks like that's probably going to get us around 16 gold ore. Do another one. Gold ore pays off, that we know for sure. So, yeah, we're definitely calling that one a win for today. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.